How goes it, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome, welcome, welcome. An unplanned stream, really. Usually don't stream on Thursdays, but there's just so much going on. Our stream yesterday got, well, I wouldn't say derailed, but our stream yesterday that I had planned and I had worked on things for, obviously there was a change of course after the Damian Lillard trade. And so I figured, you know, I'd wrapped up some of my work. The video I was working on wasn't going to be ready today anyways. Why don't I just go live again? And so today we're going to go over some of the training camp stuff for the Dallas Mavericks. I still think the only team who has reported to training camp, and then we will do the backcourt bracket that we were planning on doing yesterday. Yesterday. So I've already sent the link for the bracket if you guys want to go in there. I think you can vote on it right now. We'll do that towards the end of the stream. This might be a bit of a longer stream. We've got quite a bit to talk about from Mavs training camp. This stuff's good. I got to give the Mavs some credit for all of their flaws, of which there are many. Man, the vibes are always good. I have to completely change the Bucks backcourt on here. Damian Lillard, and who is his running mate? Who's playing the two for the Bucks? Are they just gonna put? Are we just gonna say Middleton? Whatever. We'll just do Damian Lillard and Chris. Still have some stuff to talk about there. Just a lot to talk about today. I also need to submit my Thursday night game pick. I don't know what I'm feeling for that game. Let me tweet out that I'm live right now. It probably is Pat, but I'll just put Middleton. Whatever. Mavericks training camp vibes through the roof. More Dame stuff. Drew Holiday, question mark? Ayton discourse. Picking the best backcourt in the NBA. Get in here. Shit. Need a good picture. Let's just go with like a happy Kyrie. Are there like any good pictures of Kyrie? I'll steal. I will steal. I'll take it from Nick. Nick won't mind. I'm sure Nick won't mind. Man, so how are we feeling, guys? How are we feeling post Damian Lillard trade? Now that it's about 24 hours, we're 24 hours removed from it. Liked your appearance on Lockdown earlier this week. Thank you. There will probably be much more. Hopefully, at least. I like going on Lockdown. Happy the Heat didn't get him. Yeah, that seems to be the prevailing thought for a lot of people. I thought that team would be fun. You know, I didn't really mind. I think it's probably for the best for the NBA as a whole that the Bucks were just like, nah. The Blazers were just like, nah, you're going to the Bucks. And Dame was cool with that. Like, that's just better. We really can't get to a position where players can. I'm all for player empowerment. I'm all for players wisening up and realizing, hey, I'll just take the contract, demand a trade. I'm okay with that, honestly. I think that's fine. I think it kind of works out well for all parties involved when you think about it. Like, think about some of the players who have been traded recently. Like, KD got a massive haul, right? So, like, the Nets are in decent shape. I would be shocked if there was another trade today. The Drew stuff feels like it might linger for a bit. So there was some pretty big discourse going on earlier because I guess in this article from Shams and Sam Amick, it was reported that the Heat were willing to offer the Godfather package. The Miami Heat were willing to offer Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, 3 first-round picks, first-round pick swaps, and multiple second-round picks for Damian Lillard. And so I thought about it a little bit. That's a big package. Like, don't get me wrong. And I think, oh wait, I need to put the chat box up. That's a big and interesting package. And everyone's freaking out about this. But I'm thinking about it. We really need to stop pretending like all first-round picks are the same. It's like currency. Where if you didn't know like exchange rates on currency, and you're like, whoa, 100,000 pesos? You're going to give me 100,000 pesos? Holy shit. I'm rich. But you don't realize that that's $5,000 and not $100,000? Like taking a gamble on the Bucks in 2029 post Damian Lillard, because if he's not retired, he'll be way too old by then, 39 years old or whatever. Middleton will probably be gone. Brook Lopez will most certainly be gone. Giannis could even be gone by that point. That's a nice gamble to take, that those picks could be valuable. Where the Heat have historically shown us they'll be good. They're a destination. Even if by 2029 Jimmy's out of the league, which he probably will be at that point as well. That's 6 years from now. And the team looks much different. There's a good chance that they're still pretty good. And those picks are in the 20s. And it's just like, wow, we traded Damian Lillard for, a few teetering, like a few middling prospects. And Tyler Hero, who clearly does not have much value across the league. And then the Jovic part, dude, we don't know what the league feels about Jovic. Like he was a late first-round pick a year ago. It's very possible the Blazers didn't even value him in the first round. We have no idea if he's good or not. So I kind of think that the is Jovic's trade value inflated because his name is similar to Jokic? No. His trade value is inflated because he plays for the Heat. And the Heat are just so good at player development that we're all like, yeah, he's got to be good, right? But the Bucks package is pretty good, especially because, man, the Drew Holiday stuff might be a bidding war. Hi, King. Hello, Queen. I'm just laughing at how Ayton was such a disaster in the offs that Phoenix fans are talking themselves into Nurkic. All right. First and foremost, offs, terrible. Please don't say offs. That makes me want to gag. But secondly, yes, it is hilarious. The offs. On the topic of DeAndre Ayton. Really quickly here. I guess, I don't remember this. I listened to the Hoop Collective. First and foremost, the Hoop Collective Emergency Podcast. There were drugs involved. I'm convinced. That emergency podcast was hilarious. Everyone was screaming over each other. Nobody would, everyone just had incoherent, rambling thoughts. There was cocaine involved in the process of recording that video and that podcast. I'm just saying that's what it came off to me as. I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything like that, but that's what it came off to me as. Okay? Either ways. So first and foremost, this has been floated around forever. It's funny because somebody tweeted a screenshot. I tweeted out like, I don't believe this to be true, right after Bibbs, because I forgot Bibbs was the first one to this. He mentioned that this was discussed between the Mavs and the Suns before Stein confirmed it. So Bibbs definitely had a source that this was talked about. Tim Hardaway Jr., Rashawn Holmes, and it was JaVale McGee. That's what the Mavericks were offering for DeAndre Ayton. Now, I still don't believe that the Suns would have done that. Gambo, that Suns reporter that is right most of the time, said that the Suns weren't really going to do that. And then Stein, I think, sort of said the Suns definitely didn't want to do it with JaVale McGee involved. But he never really like confirmed that they would have done it if it was just Tim Hardaway and Rashawn Holmes. Either way, my stance on Ayton's been clear. It's fun. I went on my Twitter Twitter profile and just searched Ayton. I just want to see what I've said about Ayton. I've hated that man for his whole career. Hate's a strong word. I have been a non-believer in that man his whole career. I've been a non-believer in that man his whole career. And man, I was going back. I have tweets back to 2020 about Shea. Listen, you guys will respect me at some point. All right. Some of the stuff I was saying about Shea in 2020, I saw the vision. I saw the vision back when I was getting 0 likes on all of my tweets. Buffkin is the real test. I've already walked back some of my Buffkin hype, but I'm still a believer in him. Buffkin and Jarris Walker. Buffkin and Jarris Walker will be the test on if I can just see a player before they're in the NBA and be like, oh, that guy's going to be good. I knew nothing about Shea going into the league. I watched his rookie year and said, oh, yeah, that guy's going to be a monster. So anyways, here's my stance on Ayton, right? A contending team. There's no team in the league that is more of a win-out team than the Phoenix Suns. They have sacrificed literally everything. They have nothing left to give. Their entire future has been mortgaged to win and win right this second. There is no team in the league that's more win now than the Phoenix Suns. Ask yourself, why is that team so willing to just dump DeAndre Ayton to literally anyone? Does that not make you a little bit concerned? If you're a team trying to contend yourself like the Mavericks, do you not look at that and say, I don't know. I don't like, you guys are wanting to get rid of this guy so badly. I'm not so sure I want him. And then I got into a verbal sparring match today on Twitter with a guy who I like on Twitter. It was a very respectable back and forth about DeAndre Ayton and his value. He was basically saying how just trading for Ayton, trading Tim Hardaway and Rashawn Holmes for Ayton gives you a better trade piece. Like, Ayton is a better trade piece than those two guys. And I said, no. I don't think so. If this is Taylor Swift related, guys, I'm in the middle. Oh, this is actually kind of funny. Mark Cuban was on First Take today, and for some reason brought up Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
I got you. Taylor, if you're listening, sorry, Travis, break up with him. I got a bunch of good-looking single guys that play for the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh my God.
I got you.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this is kind of funny. It's just goofy. I think that's kind of funny. I definitely think Mark Cuban has his fair share of cringe moments. This is kind of funny. Yeah, the Travis Kelce response just signed me to a 10-day. It's pretty funny, honestly. Like, would you rather have Nurkic or Tim and Holmes? I'd much rather have Tim and Holmes. The Mavs have an oddly handsome team. Do you think somebody on the Mavs said, hey, man, go put a good word in for me? Like, Travis Kelce shot his shot with Taylor Swift and it worked. Like, go put a good word in for me. Okay, so anyway, sorry. Already derailed. The Ayton trade stuff. All right, so basically the idea was, oh, well, DeAndre Ayton, like, is a better trade piece just to have, and you can flip them later to upgrade your team. I disagree. Here's the reasons why. All this talk about Ayton's perceived trade value. We just saw him get traded. We don't need to guess, right? We don't need to guess. We don't need to speculate on what DeAndre Ayton's trade value is because he just got traded. We just saw it. It's dirt. It's in the fucking toilet. Okay? And what do you think if you bring in Ayton? It makes more sense for the Blazers who are rebuilding whatever, right? But what do you think happens if Ayton goes to another contending team and he's upset again? His play is just lacking. The motor's not there. The effort's not there. What do you think's going to happen then? There's not going to be a third chance. There's not going to be another team that says, I'll take the chance on $35 million for the next 3 years. I'll take the chance. That team's not going to exist. You're going to have a negative asset that you're going to have to attach things to get off of. And so I would rather have the 2 expiring contracts that are going to be expiring going into like next summer. I would rather have those contracts to play around with than Ayton, for sure. For sure. We just saw it a year ago and 2 years ago. The Mavericks had the Albatross contract that had no value in Kristaps Porzingis. They traded it to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie, who was not looked at as a good good value at the time, and Davis Bertans, who most people agreed had the worst non-max contract in the NBA. And the Mavericks had to attach a second-round pick to make that trade happen. And then what did they do with the splintered contracts they got? They attached Spencer Dinwiddie in the Kyrie Irving trade, got Kyrie Irving, and then they were pretty smart with being able to get off of Bertans. Because his money's bad, but it's not so bad that you can't just offload it. They were able to get off of it by just moving down 2 picks. So I think there's more value to be had in the expiring deals than the 35. I get the Mavericks need a center. I do. Guess what? So do the fucking Suns. And they traded him for a worse player. What does that tell you? I'm not even convinced Ayton is a top 10 center. Like, I actually don't think he is. I mean, depending on who you classify as a center, Ayton is definitely not a top 10 center. You also just drafted a lottery center. It's not like Ayton is a guy like Capella who could be stopgap. He's like 26. That's true, but a lot of the Ayton rumors were before the draft, to be fair. But you're right, though. What are your thoughts on trading for Jeremy Grant at some point? He's reported available for trade. Contract is tough, but would be a perfect third option. Yeah, Jeremy Grant would be amazing. Kind of worried, though, about some guys like that. The Mavericks' next big trade has to be for the guy you think unquestionably pushes you over the edge because you don't have that many more assets. And the next one's just going to have to be the trade. Is Jeremy Grant that guy? Maybe. Would you have to give up Green for Grant? Yeah, and I would. Suns fans are pumping a gigantic amount of copium into their bodies. Ayton for Nurkic is going to go down as one of the worst trades for supposed first pick. Most Suns fans I've seen are not very happy. Ayton being a 23-10 guy this year isn't a fat stretch, right? No, he might put up some numbers. And I want you guys to understand this. If Ayton goes up and puts numbers on a bad Portland team, it doesn't matter, All right. Don't look at that and say, oh my God, look at what he would have done for the Mavericks. It doesn't work like that. Okay. That's why I like Ayton on the Blazers makes a lot of sense. Like, it just does. Would you take a chance on getting Drew or OG for all of our picks left? Drew, not so much. I love the idea of Drew, right? And yeah, the Mavericks should, make a call. But Drew's going to turn into a bidding war. The Mavericks just can't win. They would literally have to just completely go all in. And give up everything for him. And I'm not so sure Drew is a player that pushes you over the edge. OG's a little bit more interesting because he's younger. Ayton has Wood type impact numbers. I mean, Ayton's good. The idea of Ayton is great because he is good defensively. He kind of fits the modern center mold that you would like to see. But man, it's just... And sometimes this doesn't develop. Would you give up Josh Green for Steven Adams? Steven Adams would be pretty nice on the Mavs. Is Steven Adams even 30 yet? Every time you see Steven Adams' age, you're like, wait. What? He is 30 now. He just turned 30 in July. Yeah, I honestly don't think the Grizzlies would do that. He's a little bit too important for them. What's the worst player you'd give up Green for? I'm not doing this. I don't know. You guys know I love Josh Green. I'm not getting into the weeds on this one. I don't think Josh Green's untouchable. I'm sure he is a name that will be brought up quite a bit in trade talks for the Mavs over the next few months. Bro, Chandler Jones is having his Antonio Brown moment. CT is scary, man. That stuff is scary. I don't think that's CT, honest to God. That looks like a little bit more than that. No, I have not got the Australia tattoo yet. I need to. No, NFL is tomorrow. NFL picks are tomorrow. Do you think Embiid is looking at the East fed up? If he asks how, do you think he could end up in Dallas? No. Just don't have the assets. I mean, we just don't have the assets for a guy like Embiid. The Mavs don't need another megastar. They just need an all-star level player for their third guy. There's just teams that there's just teams that could outbid you. Uh-oh, Twitter notification. Golden State Warriors are hosting the 2025 All-Star Weekend. There you go. Oh, speaking of the Warriors, they're a name that got brought up quite a bit. For Drew, that would be interesting. That would be so funny if they traded Chris Paul for Drew Holiday. Like, that would be so fucking funny. God, that would be hilarious. What's actually interesting is if the Warriors did that and the Blazers bought him out, he could go to the Suns, I'm pretty sure. Because isn't the rule you can't trade a player to a team, that team buys him out and re-sign him? You can't do that. But if he gets traded to another team, I think that they can do it. That would suck. Chris Paul back on the Suns would That would be nice for them, honestly. But it would just be hilarious that the Warriors did it, to be honest. How you feeling about getting Drew now? I just don't, it's not likely at all. For the Celtics, see, like here's what I'm talking about. For the Celtics, it makes a ton of sense because that just might be the guy. Like that might be the guy that puts you into the next stratosphere. Where the Mavericks, I'm not so sure it is, and you'd be pretty much trading everything for him. Where did my Mavs film room? Here it is. If you guys are Mavs fans and you're not following Mavs film room, it's a mistake. They do a very good job. How does a player like Ayton fix his reputation? They don't watch a lot of film. It's a little misleading. I watched Bill Simmons cope that the Bucks didn't get better and said that they could get Drew for Brogdon and picks. So I had heard about that podcast, and I'm going to listen to it after the stream. Hornets could really use Holiday. They're nice, but I get most of my info from this fashion diva called Slightly Biased. Maybe you've heard of him. Slightly Biased is starting to get some hate. It was brought to my attention today that there are private accounts that quote tweet my tweets shitting on me. That's crazy. If you're a private account and you're hating in quote tweets as a private account, you are a pussy. Step out into the light. Punk. Be not burner. You know you have made it slightly biased when you get hate. I don't think that's it. I think I was just a little too critical. I think I might have crossed the line for some with Luka criticism. I think that's the problem. I think a line might have been crossed at some point. Did you cross the Euro line again? The guy who was brought to my attention did not appear to be a Euro. So that is interesting. All right. Let's get into some of the stuff that came out today. Kyrie Irving spoke to the media today. And he literally said Luka would spit on the American flag and only cares about his home country. Oh no, Slovenians would love it if I said that. They'd be like, yeah! Hatred of the Suns and slightly biased are the only things that ever bring Mavs fans together. But like, why hate me? I'm the more positive one there is. Was I negative last year? Yes, it was impossible to not be. It was literally impossible to not be negative. But I'm ramping up the delusion again. Let's have some fun. Shout out to Tyrell Terry, was really high on his. Yeah, I was high on Tyrell Terry too. Shout out to him. All right, here's some clips from today's practice. Nothing too crazy. Didn't seem like they scrimmaged or anything. Just running some plays. Derek Lively, freak athlete. Boom. Look at that. I was questioning a thread about you. Why do you subject yourself to this if you're not a Mavs fan? Subject yourself to my content? Oh my god, that's hilarious. It makes it sound like I'm sitting here torturing you guys. We like to have fun. Luka used to look like Grant. He has leaned out, looking like Bubble Luka. Luka and Grant Williams have similar body types in that they'll never be skinny. Dwight Powell with the wraparound. So he hates me, so it comes full circle. Matt, are you the private account? All right, here we go. Here are the quotes. Buckle up. Some of these almost had me teary-eyed. Gotta be real with you. It's good to see you guys again. Most of you guys, Kyrie, jokingly. Does every player in the NBA make that same exact joke? I think every single player in the league makes that same joke their first time talking to the media in the season. Either, Misty, good to see you guys again. Well, some of you. Or the media saying, did you guys miss me? Did you miss us? And the guy saying, no. Dropping dimes. Have to get there before he deactivates. Where is he? It's gone already. Isn't dropping dimes washed? He did say Aiden for Nurkic was for sure happening. What did it say? I screenshotted it. Screenshot. What did it say? Tyler Hero ain't safe in South Beach. Thank you, Cray and Matt. Both of you guys sent it to me. Thank you, guys. Tyler Hero ain't safe in South Beach. Portland could have flipped him to Brooklyn for 3 unprotected firsts plus Dorian Finney-Smith. Clips can get Harden done. Comes down to willingness to include man in an unprotected first. Good bet Drew lands with Clips if they don't get Harden. Portland could have flipped him to Brooklyn for 3 unprotected firsts plus Dorian Finney-Smith. Not buying it. I'm not buying that one. I'm not buying it. That's actually crazy. Did you mention the McMahon 8 and stuff? I did, yes. That's just too much. There's no way the Nets are offering 3 unprotected firsts, man. I refuse to believe it. Like, I just refuse to believe that the Blazers would have then supposedly declined to trade that included, what, 6 first-round picks before pick swaps? And if it is those Suns firsts, those are very valuable. Three unprotected first for Hero. Just no way. Just no way. Dropping Dimes 20's gotten some stuff right, but he's gotten some stuff wrong, to be completely fair. All right. Let's focus up. What I learned most about myself is to just stay patient. Is this a thread? Transition to a whole new city, get acclimated to a new team, give myself grace. It's not an easy task to handle this NBA life alone. I'm thankful to have a great support system. Kyrie Irving on experiencing a midseason trade for the first time. Yes, Dropping Dimes 20 did say that Cat was either going to be on the Mavericks or the Suns. That's when I then said, if that happens, I will stream for 8 consecutive hours doing nothing but Luka Doncic mock trades. Which I still stand by. I'm happy about the moves. No hard criticism from me. They asked me this is important. This is, everyone listen. Everyone fucking shut up and listen. This is an important quote. I'm happy about the moves. No hard criticism from me. They asked me what I thought through the summertime. They gauged who I wanted to play with, who throughout this free agency class and the next free agency class I wanted to play with. Kyrie on the off-season retooling. Pascal, Buddy, Jaden McDaniels, Gary Trent Jr., DeMar, Clay, Gordon Hayward are going to be the biggest earners. Oh, DeMar. Oh, Claxton, huh? Claxton's unrestricted, too. Juicy. That's interesting. Claxton did say he loved playing with Kyrie. Kai's buddies are ballers, though. Kai is such a hooper's hooper that I am worried, like, DeMar, who's also a hooper, you know, which is like, I mean, Claxton fits like a glove. But this is also a reason why. Go back to me advocating for this trade before the trade was made. A big reason why I was saying guys around the league love Kyrie Irving. Say what you will about him. Has he said some dumb things? Yes. Has he maybe shared some things he probably shouldn't have shared? Yes. Is he a bit out there? Of course he is. Does he mean well? I do believe so. Does he have a big heart? I believe so. In a healthy way. But players absolutely love him. They just do. So there could be a recruiting asset. Because here's the key piece in all of this, right? It's clear and obvious now. Front offices do not attract talent. Like it doesn't work that way anymore, right? It just doesn't. Like you need your players to recruit other players. Players need to see what's going on. Players need to see what teams are building, and they need to be recruited by other players. Luka just doesn't do that. All right, he leaves in free agency, or in the summer he leaves. He goes back to Slovenia. No problem at all with that, right? Go do your thing. But he doesn't really recruit. At least I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it. He's got a lot of friends around the league, so maybe I'm wrong here. Because Luka seems more in the interacting with other players around the league than like Jokic does. Or Dirk did even. Right? Seems like he has more friendships across the league. Kyrie is a guy who can be a recruiter. Kyrie recruited Kevin Durant to Brooklyn. Like he was the mastermind of that move. And then of course you have my recruiting skills as well. That's true. Grant was one of those guys I mentioned. He was a big piece in those Boston series when I was playing with Brooklyn. Kyrie on giving input towards the Grant Williams accusation. Kyrie, I love you, man. Really, I do. Don't you dare steal that from me. It's one of the only things I have. The amount of effort and work I put in to recruit Grant Williams to this team, don't you dare rip that away from me. That's all I got. I hope Jesus Christ, what is this comment? I hope Nurkic says the hard R that the Suns have no center. That's crazy. Oh, God. That's just... I think I'm more or less excited about the off-the-court aspect of him teaching me to be a better man. It goes a long way for young guys like me. He brings a natural ease. He's brutally honest. Kyrie on his relationship with Jason Kidd. Ah! Interesting. Jason Kidd had maybe an impact on Kyrie Irving staying? Huh. Interesting. That is interesting. I wish I would have gotten drafted by Dallas initially. Obviously, they weren't in that position at the time. Kyrie speaking on the positive organizational culture experience so far at Dallas. He just says the right thing. Like, he just does most of the time. But most of the time, he says the right thing, so it makes you feel good. I'm excited. He's an incredible shooter and leader to have in the locker room. It's going to be interesting to see him out there with myself and Luka and the second unit at times. He has a great work ethic. Kyrie on reuniting with Seth Curry. Seth Curry's third time in Dallas, but obviously Seth Curry played with Kyrie in Brooklyn. Luka already makes the game look easier here. Oh, this was funny. Luka already makes the game look easier here in the States. When he plays for Slovenia, he goes Super Saiyan. He goes ballistic. You can see the passion of that group. I was texting him, reminding him that me and Dirk have World Cup MVPs. Just giving him motivation. That's pretty funny. Hope Kyrie plays international basketball again someday. He was a killer. You think this is how the Cavs, Celtics, and Nets fans felt, or is this real? No, they all felt this way. We'll just have to see, though. Kyrie's older. Like, you know, it really might just be time for him to... Hey, I've done all the things I wanted to do. I tried. I wanted to go be the guy. Oh, my God. What's wrong with you, bro? What is wrong with your brain? I have 3 kids, so that was enough. I made use of this long summer to establish better relationships with them, just being a dad and giving myself grace to heal from the season. Wait, where was the... Wait, Matt's film room didn't include the biggest quote of them all? Irving says he wishes Dallas had been in position to draft them in 2011. That's how strongly he feels about the organization and its culture. See what Brad's talking about.
Started with my agent, Shitalia, also my stepmother, family. It started with my agent, Shitalia, also my stepmother, family-run business, so she has my best interests at heart. It wasn't too difficult of a process. Had Dallas as number 1 on my list. Obviously, I looked elsewhere at salary cap opportunities where I could fit in with other guys around the league, but there just wasn't much space. And me being 31 now, I had to have a different vantage point. And I felt like I could not just settle here, but be happy to come back here and be welcomed back with a warm embrace. So I took everything into account. I took my time a few days before free agency just to be with my family, gauge how they felt about being in Dallas alongside me, and everybody was excited. I mean, even when I got traded here midseason, a lot of my family was excited, and they were just looking forward to me having a peace of mind just on the court and off the court. I had already dealt with enough past season, or the past 2 seasons, so they knew that I just wanted a lot of that off my back and off my shoulders, of feeling like I had to be Superman or I had to be perfect. I just wanted to be myself, and been going on the last few years just figuring myself out. So I think this is the best place to do it and continue to mature and grow as a man.
Great answer, Kai. Is Tim McMahon the Antichrist? Anyone knows where the full press conference is going to be? That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
On the series when we were playing in Brooklyn, he really made it difficult on us. He wasn't the only one, obviously, but he was doing the intangibles out there, and I think he was looking for a bigger role somewhere else. And I can't knock a guy for wanting to try more and be more in this league. So coming here and getting the deal that he did, I was proud of him, but also I knew that the work was still ahead of us. It felt a little surreal this summer, being able to negotiate a shoe deal at a magnitude that I have, and alongside my all-leaving management team. They really emphasized me having creative control and being brought.
I'm getting so close to just flat out lying to myself. Just flat out. I've set my expectations. I think that they could be a top 5 seed. I'd be very happy with that. Win a playoff series. Be very happy with that. And let's really focus 2024, 2025. That might be the year. Lively's got a year under his belt. Omax has a year under his belt. However you improve your team through trades between now and then, free agency between now and then, that's the year. I'm getting ready to start lying to myself, though.
Broadcasted to more of an international community, and having direction in that, and being able to come to the table and discuss that with the executives over there. There definitely is a language barrier. There are definitely things to be aware of politically, but also I think the importance for me was being able to put clothes on my family's back, putting clothes on my community's back, putting shoes on their feet, and being able to make a bigger impact with my platform after basketball. You know, I have less years playing than I do more years playing. I'm aware of that. But I think the fun part is being able to jump into that entrepreneurial lane and prepare myself for life after basketball my way. So this is just a step in that direction, that process, and it's been amazing to see the attention that it's getting. But my focus right now is just building the best team at onto making sure our designs and our technology match what we're saying, and making sure the production and distribution also matches what we're saying. So thank you.
Damn, Kyrie's been in the league for 12 years. That's actually crazy. Kyrie's like was always one like it's hard. It's always hard for me to imagine young players getting older. Like I'm thinking about it right now. I can't imagine like a 32-year-old Luka. I just can't. It doesn't like the image isn't in my brain. But he is gonna be older at some point. It's how like it's kind of how I always felt Kyrie was. And now Kyrie's 32 or 31. And been in the league for 12 years. Like, that's just weird to think about. K-Cap! Welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club! Somebody asked if the Slightly Delusional Club's open. No. Hello? God, it's a fucking mess in here. When was the last time we cleaned up? Reeks of beer. It smells like a frat house. Anybody's... Okay. There are rotting corpses in the drunk tank. Well, just have to make a few calls is all.
You know, in end of last year, you mentioned the chemistry misses.
Nope.
All right. Likewise. You know, in end of last year, you mentioned the
It might be reading into it a little too much.
likewise. You know, in end of last year.
Just making a face. Toomer is dead in there.
And then I wanted everything terms. Yeah, and then I wanted everything that was structured in my contract, incentive-wise, to be based on production, and that was it. You know, wins and how many games I'm playing. You know, I hear all the noise, so I just wanted to make sure that I had some friendly terms, but also some realistic expectations for myself going into the season. Looking to just play as many games as possible. Obviously, it's a long season. We want to peak at the right time. Training staff here is really smart, really experienced. They've played, or they've had different guys coming through the organization where they've had to be aware of their
The Mavs training camp. They have some weird stuff. Training staff. They got some weird stuff going on with it right now that I haven't really followed or understand. But their training staff is pretty well respected across the league.
previous injury history, and we just take it easy, but also the onus is being prepared for every single game. So I appreciate that accountability and them giving me my space to just grow and figure out myself as I get older and enjoy this prime of mine, you know. And it's I have a different body now coming into my 30s. I have to take care of it differently than I did in my 20s. I can't just get up and roll out of bed and just not stretch or do anything to activate my body or warm up. So it's been an adjustment.
I feel that, brother.
But I'm having fun, and to be able to do it with this veteran group, veteran coaching staff as well, it helps out a lot.
Feel that. I started a few months ago. I started stretching every day. It has actually changed my life. I'm not kidding. I can play basketball. I can work out. I can lift weights, and I feel completely fine the next day. I've always been curious on why you always stand up during streams. How can you do that? I don't know. I can't sit down. I just don't know how to explain it. I just am an energetic person. And it's just, yeah, I just feel better when I'm standing. Show us what stretches you do. Typically start downward dog, right? To the little, whatever this pose is where you're laying down, you know. Then you go up like this, like a seal almost. Right? And then go to downwards dog. Stretch out the hamstrings, you know, really get a good stretch in there. Then I go to squat. Right? Squat. Work on the groin a little bit. Work on the thighs a little bit. Squat. Up. Just straight down. Touch the ground. Touch your toes. Get a great calf. Great hamstring stretch in. Right? Then, you know, do that. Then we go to standing lunge squat. Both sides. That parlays into boom, foot over the other foot, down, touch the ground again, get a good stretch in. Then, after those stretches, sit down, one foot on top of the other, stretch it out, get that calf stretch in, right? Each foot, boom, calf stretch. Then I do the pretzel to close things out. Really, I actually had, Luca, are you listening? I had a thigh injury that was just shooting pains in my thigh. Randomly. I started doing a pretzel stretch and it actually went away. Luca, are you stretching? Honestly, the way Luca like moves up and down the court sometimes, if you told me Luca did not stretch before games, I think I would believe you. I actually would believe. Would believe you. Anyways. Does trick shots for the tunnel count as stretching? Obviously, Lucas stretches before a game. Any training staff in the league would be fucking nuts just to let a player not stretch. What's going on in the chat? So anyways, that was some of the quotes today from Kyrie Irving. This feels good. The vibes are good, I have to say. The vibes are good. Just a normal Thursday chat. Yeah, I stream on a day I don't usually stream on and all hell breaks loose, I guess. You said that last year that went 0 for 100. Don't worry. I don't know if you were in here, Wicked, but I played the video you sent me on Twitter.
So damn good about this upcoming season. I've been telling you all offseason I was bought into this fucking team. I've been telling you all offseason that I've been bought into this team, and everybody was doom and gloom the entire time. We didn't get Dragic. I said, who gives a fuck? And I got dragged. We didn't get Dennis Schroeder. I said, who gives a shit? And I got dragged. We lost Jalen Brunson. I said, okay, that one actually sucks. All right, but this whole offseason I'm telling you this team's going to be good. This team's going to be good. And you know, this team might just even be better than they were a year ago. And everybody's telling me that I'm a fucking loser and I'm wrong, and I'm slightly delusional. I'm telling you, this team's going to be good. Christian Wood's going to work out. John is going to be a great addition. Defensively, this will be a top 5 team in the NBA. I feel strongly about that. Offensively, top 10. You get in there, historically, champions, you got to be top 10 in offense, top 10 in defense.
That's a tough listen. That's a tough listen right there. As a recovering addict of copium, that is a tough one. That was forced. That was forced. You know it was bad because me, the most vocal, I don't want Christian Wood on my team person there was, talked myself into Christian Wood very quickly. I mean, that's just how the game that's just how the game works. Would I have talked myself into DeAndre Ayton? Hell yeah. Yeah, that was just an overdose. I had to go get my stomach pumped.
Leveraging of the media. And how poisoned the well was with anything with Miami. Basically, Cronin's like, our fan base has so convinced itself that Miami, forget Tyler Hero, has no pieces, that they ended up spinning this into one first-round draft pick, which will be low. I mean, not a lot of worth there. A couple pick swaps that they won't actually execute. And DeAndre Ayton and Drew Holiday? That's how we're going to go about this rebuild, and we're going to hope that we actually have leverage now with Drew Holiday. If you thought you had no leverage with Damian Lillard, lame duck Drew Holiday is getting you nothing. Cronin played himself. The Miami Heat played themselves. There are no winners in this except for the Milwaukee Bucks if Damian Lillard decides that he's going to play ball.
That's the next step, and I look forward to seeing what he does do, because now it's finally gotten interesting after months and months of too much talk about this one thing without actual.
Beat out. Now I got to go in and unban that guy. Unfortunately, YouTube does not. Oh, unhide user. Never mind. This is a bad take. That Bucks pick, I guarantee you, that Bucks pick across the league, the 2029 unprotected, has higher value than any Heat pick. Maybe even multiple Heat picks, just by itself. Like, I promise you. No, Jeremy, that was a mistake. But we fixed it. We fixed it. You're in my closet? I don't have a closet. Unless you're talking the janitor closet at the Slightly Delusional Club, in which case there's a lot of you in there. And you're never coming out. Ever. Everyone hates my name. Jeremy? What's wrong with the name Jeremy? Never thought about it. Having beef with a name is insane. Are you going to go to any Rangers playoff games? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Maybe a little content involved, but probably not. I can't. Dude, it's just so high stress, man. There's just something about baseball, high leverage baseball situations. My bad with all those fucking sounds. That are just so high, like so high stress. Rangers win tonight. They're in the playoffs. I do wonder, what do you think the Rangers do? Just this is a little sidetrack. We'll get back to business here in a second. If the Rangers win tonight, they clinch a wild card spot guaranteed. They can't clinch the division tonight. Do you think they celebrate making the playoffs, or do they wait to celebrate the division? Because you can't really do both. What do you think? Should celebrate just making the playoffs? I think you got to wait too. You got to clinch the division. We don't have pitching depth to do anything in the postseason, though? No, I think you're right. I don't think they're going to go very far in the playoffs. But it's just cool that they make the playoffs. Like, it's already a majorly successful season for them. They win the division if the Astros lose too. The Astros don't play tonight, though, is what I'm saying. '15, '16 was the last time I was in middle school. I don't want to say where I was. Damn, it was really that long ago. No, yeah. Yep. Fuck off. I was not 30. I was in college, though, and not my first year of college, nor my second year. That's what's going on at Mavs training camp. The rookie stuff's very interesting. I guess let's look at some of the kid quotes. Kid talked yesterday, so. Yeah, the Odor punch was legendary, but they got shitted on in the playoffs by the Blue Jays like 5 months later, which always just kind of ruined it for me. I'd say everyone's done their part, from the rookies to our 2 stars and everyone in between. Jason Kidd on who caught his eye this summer. This is just coach talk right here. So it was like Brandon Whedon, 31-year-old senior. I was always young for my group. You know, my parents could have easily held me back 2 full years, really, and I'd have been a monster in sports. Probably be playing in some professional league somewhere in some sport, right? You don't have this size. And just this much power and not be successful in sports. Unfortunately, though, I was always the baby of my grade. Tomorrow's media day, right? Yes. But from what I understand, Kyrie and Luka, like, they're not going to be at media day. This was like their version of media day. They're not going to be doing like interviews. So. Oh, by the way, the Mavericks play in a week. So. That's right around the corner. We historically tend to put the young guys with the stars to see how they handle a situation. With those 2 rookies, they put in the work. Tim with the $2 donation. Holiday and Ayton in a package for Kyrie. Would you? No. I think we're lucky to have Grant, to have that voice. He's a winner. That voice is something we haven't had from player to coach. We're lucky to have him. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome, J-Kid. Just let me know anytime. No Kyrie and Luka media debuts. I saw somebody say that. A source tells Legion Hoops that the Los Angeles Clippers are heavily pursuing Drew Holiday from the Blazers. This comes after the 76ers have been unwilling to deal James Harden this offseason. I'm telling you right now, I think that there's going to be a big-time bidding war for Drew Holiday, and it's going to be kind of crazy what the return is. That's my prediction. I think the biggest one is health. We want to be healthy going into the 25th. The big question is how we can play without those 2. I think we were 1-10 without them last season. It was 0-7 for the longest time when Luka missed a game. We can't just wait for them to bail us out. We need to have the locker room confident to win without them. This is the first thing I've heard about Hardy all training camp. Hardy has had an incredible season for us last year. I think with the talent around us this year, I think he's going to thrive. We all know he can score, so now it's time to see if he can execute. Nick from Lockdown said there will be media day interviews. With Luka and Kyrie, though? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just completely misremembering or just making something up in my brain. At the top, best scoring combo in the league. On defense, we'll take number 2 or 3. We don't need to be number 1. Jason Kidd on how Luka Kyrie duo stacks up against the other star combos in the league. 2 and 3 might be a big swing. At his first press conference of the season, Kyrie Irving says he wishes Dallas would have had a shot at drafting him in 2011 and insists he and Luka Doncic can flourish as a duo, saying we're both killers on the court. Everybody knows it. Does anybody like Mark Stein, man? It's just I just want to hug him. I don't know what it is. He's just a stabilizing force. Terrence Williams is still one of the only 2 real jerseys I have. Okay. Well, we're still doing this today, by the way. So get locked in. It's bracket time. I'm spamming the link in the chat. You guys know the drill. This is a community. This is a community bracket. You guys get to pick the winner. And I will just be a swing vote if needed. We are picking the best backcourts in the NBA. As always, you know, just kind of ignore seeding. It doesn't matter too much. I just roughly seeded these things. All 30 teams are represented here, obviously. There are some great backcourts. I think Luka and Kyrie get a bye. And Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, I mean, whatever, right? Steph Curry's behind Luka. That's right. As the second best point guard in the NBA. You are old. Thank you for that. Can't vote? I see plenty of votes. Can you guys vote? What's going on with Denzel and B-Dot? What's going on in the chat? It's very hostile today. It's a hostile work environment. Can't vote? Hold on. Enable voting. What's happening here? Try again. I just basically did the equivalent of turning it off and turning it back on. You voted? Matt with the $5. Take this capital and garner a one-on-one interview with McMahon and ask him why he is Satan incarnate. I'll make a few phone calls. Thank you, Matt. I'll make a few phone calls. I just saw Mark Cuban talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and then I just figured, I don't really care. All right, let's get to business. Here we go. The best backcourts in the NBA. Let's get it going. It's bracket time. Everyone's favorite time of the week. I feel like I already know who's going to win this. But, you know, even if there wasn't any bias involved, we all know who's going to win it. First matchup, the Chicago Bulls versus the Charlotte Hornets, and we already have a tie. Alex Caruso and Zach LaVine. You know, you could also add Io, Javon Carter, who they just picked up, but These are probably your two starters. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Brandon Miller maybe in the mix. I mean, who knows? More of a wing to me, but I think ESPN had him listed as their starting shooting guard, which is why he's here. Currently tied 8-8. This is a kind of a toughie. Oh, and all right, so is it that crazy to say LaMelo's the best player of this group? I think him and Zach LaVine are pretty close. Zach LaVine had a good season a year ago. Better than I think most people think. I do think Caruso is notably better than the other two. Let me just give it one quick refresh. Melo's not better than Zach. I think they're close. It's a dead heat tie. So I'm just going to go ahead right now. I'll give it 10 seconds. 10 seconds to see if there's another vote. And then if not, I'll just have to be the tiebreaker. I feel kind of actually strongly in my belief on who should win this. I don't want to sway the votes though. Let's see. And it is LaMelo and the Hornets. I would have picked Caruso and Zach LaVine, to be honest with you. LaVine and LaMelo are close enough in my opinion. And I think Caruso's just better than these other guys. But okay. LaMelo moves on. LaMelo's the better point guard through and through, right? Just a better point guard. And if you're looking at it that way, it makes sense. Next up, we have the Boston Celtics against the Utah Jazz. Oh, my God. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I put Jason Tatum in here tentatively. Just because there were reports that they kind of want him to be a point guard at times this year. Sorry. There are reports that they want to do that. If that's the case and they go a little bit bigger, right? Tatum is going to be one of the guard spots. Derek White's a really good player. Still think, I mean, Brogdon's coming off the 6th man of the year season, so still a great player. Sexton and Clarkson, they need a point guard. Can Keontae George kind of be that guy? Maybe. But yeah, I think that's why they're kind of a name that gets tossed out for Drew Holiday, even though I think that's kind of crazy. But that feels like an easy choice there. Next up, we have the Indiana Pacers going up against the Miami Heat. I put this bracket together before the Dame trade, and I was thinking, man, look at this Heat backcourt. Like, add Dame into it. Tyler Hero and Josh Richardson. Yeesh. That team's trying to win a championship. Would you trade Micah and CD for 2 6 rounds for a Mavs ship this year? Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I know I'm back into football a little bit, but not that much. Absolutely. Positively. Tyrese Halliburton, Ben Math. That's a great backcourt. Nimhard as well. And even having Micah and CD does not even guarantee you a championship. Guess what? The Cowboys have had Micah and CD. Shit hasn't been sweet. Give me the guaranteed chip. Pacers have a very promising young backcourt. That one's an easy one as well. Here comes the Suns versus the Wizards. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. Who else do you need, really? Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole. Need I say more? I like Tyus Jones. You know, Jordan Poole might put up 30 points a game this season. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. How many? I don't think this is a guaranteed thing. I'm exaggerating on Jordan Poole averaging 30 points a game, but he's going to be getting some shots up. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I think point Devin Booker can be a thing for sure. I think it's been pretty good at times when he's done it. But it sounds like they want Beal to be their point guard, which Beal's a pretty solid playmaker too. So the Sacramento Kings backcourt versus the Houston Rockets new look backcourt. Oh my God! I thought there'd be some people that would maybe throw the Rockets a bone here. De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, 24 votes. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, 1 vote. I guess it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. De'Aaron Fox is far and away the best player here. Jalen Green, we still don't know. But that's a kind of a fun, exciting backcourt, to be honest with you. Fred and Jalen Green. Maybe Jalen Green takes a leap forward next to a veteran point guard in Fred VanVleet. Dude, I'm sorry to interrupt the bracket. I don't even really care about what Richard Jefferson is saying here. Although, just judging off this, I kind of agree with what he's saying.
Move from you had it. Sorry, Dame in the move. They lost.
Classic ESPN coming up right here.
I think that this.
Just look at it. 5 people sitting around. Yeah, look at that starting 5. 5 people just sitting around, staring blankly into their camera. Wow. Yeah, terrible mic quality, all varying in like webcam qualities as well. You know, some of them are lagging. Like, it's all just great. The worldwide leader in sports, ladies and gentlemen. All right, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk. Easy, clear. All right, when are we getting to a close one? This one's not close. Yep, 0 votes. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey. A real dark horse in this competition. Schroeder, OG, Gary Trent Jr. What is there to say, really? Schroeder, better in FIBA than the NBA, although he's been a good NBA player. Schroeder has a 6th man of the year, right? He won it when he was in OKC, correct? Did he not? No, this is Mandela effect. This is the Mandela effect. He won 6th man of the year. This is the Mandela effect. Anyways, OG. I remember Gary Trent Sr. playing for the Mavs. He was decent. It's always interesting to me when, like, so Gary Trent Sr. was like a power forward. It's always interesting to me when players, like, their dads are power forwards and then they're guards. I think that just kind of speaks to if you're talented at a young age, everyone's going to be a guard. Like, you're just going to learn. You're going to learn the guard skills. The Philadelphia 76ers backcourt, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey against Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. The Detroit Pistons, young, upcoming backcourt. It's a good one. It's a promising one. I'm still really high on Cade. Really high. I hope injuries don't really affect him the way it feels like they're going to. Jaden Ivey, the jury's still out, for sure. He's got an unbelievably fast first step. Explosive athlete. I think he can be good, but it's definitely not a guaranteed thing with him. Harden is still that guy. Like, Harden is still that guy. I know he's a legendary quitter, an all-time great quitter. He was recently at a party somewhere, and they brought out a sign that said Daryl Morey is a liar.
There's not everybody's a winner right now. No one's talking about, the minutes that they're not playing or the shots that they're not getting. So everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's excited. There's not everybody's a winner right now.
Oh, man. It's just so funny how everyone just assumes that's always about Christian Wood. But you know what? If the shoe fits. If the shoe fits. Anyways, Tyrese Maxey. James Harden and Tyrese Maxey are the two best players here. Cade Cunningham could definitely become better than Tyrese Maxey this year, but as it stands right now, the Sixers just have the two best players. I'm surprised that there's even 3 votes for them. All right, so we got this side of the bracket done. No close matchup so far, really. This one could be interesting. Russell Westbrook, Paul George against, well, the new look Milwaukee Bucks backcourt. Dame Lillard, Chris Middleton, Pat Connaughton, whoever. Russ and Paul George / oh my God, I'm having a stroke. I forgot his name. Norman Powell. Jesus. What other guards do they have? It's Dame and Chris Middleton. Dame is by far the best player here. But Russ and Paul George is interesting. Russ was good for the Clippers last year. Another easy guy to make fun of, but he was like pretty solid for them. And on the minimum deal that he got. That's a pretty damn good value contract right there. I guarantee you guys are going to be on some fuck shit at some point with this backcourt. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Cole Anthony, Black, Jalen Suggs. I don't know who to put in, really. Okay. I actually thought some of you were going to be on some fuck shit here with this one, just immediately off the rip. But 0 votes. For those, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. It's a good backcourt. Markelle Fultz is better than people think. And then you just got a bunch of different players who could fill in here. You guys know I'm high on Anthony Black. Jalen Suggs. We'd see more development from him. He's already a great defender. And when they go bigger, Franz Wagner can play the 2. So he could maybe be thrown in here as well, but it's definitely the Hawks backcourt. Trae Young is just hands down the best player of that grouping. The Minnesota Timberwolves backcourt, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards versus Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges. Again, another one of these teams. I don't know who the hell you slot in as guard. I guess you could throw Ben Simmons into this mix as well if you really wanted to. He says he's still a point guard. So do with that information what you will. But is Anthony Edwards the best player here? Has to be, right? Is there anyone out there who would argue Mikal Bridges is better than Anthony Edwards? I highly doubt it. Timberwolves clear. Not a lot of close matchups, I must say. This one won't be close at all. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Tremendous backcourt. All-star backcourt versus Trey Jones. Who's a solid point guard? A solid point guard. Nothing wrong with him. Probably would like him to be more of your bench point guard, right? You're a guy coming off the bench to run your offense rather than your starter. But hey, Devin Vassell gonna have a great season. Gonna open. Everyone's gonna be tuning in to watch Victor Wembanyama. Devin Vassell's gonna open some eyeballs. Your eyeballs will be open by the time Devin Vassell's done with you. The New York Knicks backcourt. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley just washes the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves backcourt. Okay. Thought this one could be a little bit closer. Jalen Brunson, clearly the best player here. Emmanuel Quickley. Did he finish second in Sixth Man of the Year voting last year? He did, didn't he? D'Lo and Austin Reeves. But yeah, Brunson's clearly the best player of this grouping. Quentin Grimes is nice too. I actually rewatched Luka's 60-point game last night. And God, that game was so nuts. Like, it's moments like those where like, holy shit, Luka is just on a different level. But Quentin Grimes had a really good game in that game as well. The Memphis Grizzlies backcourt, John Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, going up against Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe, which sneaks out 7 votes. Huh. Now, it is possible this tournament, this bracket's been open for 24 hours. So Dame was included here, I think, until very recently, obviously. But, wow, this is a little bit shocking that this isn't a complete and total clear. 7 based jaw haters. I mean, the Blazers backcourt's very fun. Like, if we're just going the most fun backcourt to watch, yeah, they might have a chance to go pretty far in the tournament. But John Morant, Marcus Smart, and Desmond Bane are just straight up better than anybody in this grouping. It's actually a really good backcourt the Grizzlies have. All right, last matchup of the first round. Denver Nuggets versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Jamal Murray, KCP. Who else you want to throw into that mix? I don't know. Christian Brown, I guess. Some of their rookies. Reggie Jackson. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Jose Alvarado. They need a point guard. They're great. They're a great. Yeah, I get Jokic. They're a great Drew Holiday destination, but they're not getting talked about really. I'm ready to see the in-season tournament. I am too. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. TJ McCollum as point guard just not cutting it really. It's a good backcourt though. Don't get me wrong. All right, we're on to the second round. Hopefully that means we have closer matchups. None of these were really close, besides the Caruso, Levine, LaMelo, the Portland and the Chicago and Charlotte matchup. Get your votes in for round 2. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. DJ back to Portland. Yeah, I'm trying to. Could they do that deal financially? I'm trying to think what contracts they could use. But now that you mention it, like Jonas, but would they trade Jonas without having a replacement for him? Probably not. The Warriors one is just so funny to me. Like, just imagining them trading Chris Paul is actually hilarious. Get those votes in, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas Mavericks versus the Charlotte Hornets. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. I mean, what a 1-2 punch this duo is. Offensively, wow. Hard to match. And of course, Charlotte cannot match that at all. All right, here we go. Wow, okay. All right, just as I expected. Just as I expected. The Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Malcolm Brogdon, former Indiana Pacer. Against Tyrese Halliburton and Benedict Mathurin. Jason Tatum is just kind of tentatively here. I feel like I don't want to sway the vote, but I have an opinion. Let's check again to see if any new votes got added in. All right, we are at a dead heat. Oh, shit. I'm going to give it 10 more seconds. Bucks did not consult Giannis Antetokounmpo before making Damian Lillard trade. That's ballsy. Let's see. All right, the Celtics have pulled away. All right, good. I was going to vote for them anyways. I love Tyrese Halliburton. I love Benedict Mathurin. Even like Andrew Nembhard's great. TJ McConnell's just a really solid backup guard. But I just the defense of this grouping, Derek White's just a really good player. Jaylen Brown, for all of his flaws, is still a really good player. That's exactly as I would have voted. Is Drew a better fit with Luka than Kyrie? I guess maybe, but they're both really good fits. Kendrick Perkins said Bol Bol will be up for Defensive Player of the Year. That can't be true. I actually refuse to believe that. Phoenix Suns against the Sacramento Kings. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk. It was a good run for the Kings, but it comes to an end. De'Aaron Fox is great. Better than Bradley Beal for sure. Better than Devin Booker? No. But it's just the 1-2 punch of Beal and D-Book. The Kings just don't have that number 2. Kevin Huerter's really good. Was not good in the playoffs. Malik Monk has his moments for sure. But ultimately, the star power prevails, as is usually the case in the NBA. Ooh, this one's a tough matchup. Ooh, okay. Not saying I disagree, but a little bit shocked at the how not close this is. The Thunder versus the Sixers. Shea, obviously, top 10 player, first team All-NBA last year. You guys know how I feel about Shea. He's that guy. And Josh Giddey, who still has a lot to prove, but I see it. I went from not really seeing it with Giddey, or seeing it but not seeing what everybody saw with him, to now I'm actually starting to really see it. Harden's coming off of a really great season where he led the league in assists. Tyrese Maxey's a microwave scorer, and also does a lot more than scoring. This one should have been closer. I'm just going to be real. And the more I talk about it, the more I feel like maybe if I had a vote, it would go a shocking direction. But fortunately, I don't have a vote. The Golden State Warriors backcourt of Chris Paul, Steph Curry. Oh, this is a tougher second round matchup than it would have been a day ago. Versus the new look. Oh yeah, here we go. The new look Milwaukee Bucks backcourt with Damian Lillard currently has a slight edge over Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. Oh, why is Noble slightly biased? You think T Swift orchestrated the Damian trade? It's possible. I was watching the games on Sunday with friends, and one of my friends was like, "Man, this Taylor Swift thing with Travis Kelce is all manufactured. Like it's all a marketing ploy." And at first I was like, "Hell, no, it's not. No, it's not." Over the last week, I think it could possibly very well be a marketing ploy. Not that maybe they're vibing and they're hanging out and whatever that means. But there's definitely a benefit for both sides here. T Swift's already huge, but now she's got like the NFL boost. All right. Okay. I'm going to give it 10 seconds to see if there's any more votes. Okay. Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton advance past Steph Curry, Chris Paul, and Klay Thompson. Not the choice I would have made, to be honest with you. But I respect the hype that the Damian Lillard trade is generating, I guess. I mean, Steph Curry is a top 4 player in the world. Clay is still a solid enough guy. What's the reasoning there, guys? I mean, if you're in here, you voted, you're in here in the chat. What's the reasoning for picking Dame? Chris Paul killed it? Because Steph's the top 4 player, and I think there's like a decent gap between Steph and Dame. And Chris Middleton's probably better than Chris Paul or Klay Thompson, but I don't think it's like a massive amount. Dame is a better rapper than Steph. I've never heard Steph rap, and I'll even go ahead and say I doubt it. If Draymond were there, I'd pick Warriors. Draymond's a front court guy through and through. Well, all right. You guys made the choice, not me. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Mike Conley, and Anthony Edwards. So I have opinions on this, but let's just see where the votes are heading. Okay. All right. Good choice. Good choice. I love the Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards backcourt. Just like the Mike Conley's a pure point god. Not trying to do anything less. Right? And Anthony Edwards is great and could possibly be better than Trae by the end of the season, but he's not right now. And DeJounte Murray's a great sidekick, even though I don't think this fits good. And I don't think DeJounte Murray's a great sidekick. He's a good player. Very talented. Just a very weird play style to slot in today's NBA. But I'm happy we went this direction. This is a Trae safe space. Yeah, it is. It is. I forgot about that. I've garnered it. I have curated a safe space for Trae Young supporters and fans in this chat and community, and I'm proud of that. Trae is one of the most gifted playmakers in the league at any position. I agree 100%. All right, the Cleveland Cavaliers backcourt versus the New York Knicks backcourt. Now, funny enough, the New York Knicks dominated this backcourt a year ago in the playoffs. The votes do not reflect that, however. How many times does Brunson have to finish Mitchell to get some respect? That's kind of why I thought that maybe there'd be a little bit more votes, but have you never seen Wardell's I Love College Davidson video? No. And just, if it's an I Love College parody, I'm not so sure I want to see it. That was a front court issue, to be honest, why they lost. Well, Donovan Mitchell was pretty garbage in that series. Not garbage, but did not play as well as he needed to. But the Garland and Donovan Mitchell backcourt is just flat out better. Final matchup of round number 2. Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, the Memphis Grizzlies backcourt going up against the Denver Nuggets backcourt. And there you have it. The Nuggets pull out. Is this a little bit of ring bias here? If the Nuggets, let's just say the Nuggets lose in the conference finals or something, is this... Oh, wait. I'm a dumbass. Forget everything I just said. I definitely think Ja Morant is Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. That's a very good backcourt. And Jamal Murray's great. Ja Morant's better. KCP's great, role guy, but it's just a little bit more oomph for the Grizzlies. All right, we are on to round 3. Get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. Get your votes in. We have some very good matchups coming up here. Some very good matchups this round. Who's going to pull out on top? Who's going to come out on top? We have the Mavericks versus the Celtics. The Suns versus the Thunder. The Bucks versus the Hawks. The Cavs versus the Grizzlies. This is some good matchups here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just get right into it. The juggernaut backcourt in the league right now, talent-wise. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. 2 all-star starters this past year. Not just participants. Starters. Going up against the very talented and very well-rounded and balanced Boston Celtics backcourt of Derek White, Jaylen Brown. Maybe throw Tatum into the mix. Malcolm Brogdon as well. Okay. Well, there you go. The Celtics don't receive a single vote. There might be some slightly biased voters. That's the name of the channel. I would agree, though. Not even a single vote. What up, TGK? Mason must not be in here. The resident Celtics stan. Luka and Kyrie advance. They are in the final 4. The Phoenix Suns backcourt going up against the Oklahoma City backcourt. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey. Maybe even throw Lou Dort in there. You want? Hey, we're close. We are close. So this is an interesting one. On one hand, you have the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker. Devin Booker's the best player on this list, but it's close. It's close between him and Shai. I definitely think Devin Booker's better, but it is close. Beal's better than Giddey, but Giddey has the chance to be better as soon as this season, really. For me, my question would be for the Suns. What if the playmaking's not great? I think it will be, but what if the playmaking's not great? Shai's a good playmaker. We know Giddey's a very good playmaker. I'll give it one more check before I advance. And it looks like the Phoenix Suns will advance over the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a tough matchup. And I think I agree. I think I would have voted the Suns as well. Again, it's just, Devin Booker is really good. Now we get to Damian Lillard in the new look Bucks backcourt, which somehow miraculously upset Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, which I don't agree with, but it's y'all's choice, not mine. Going up against the Atlanta Hawks backcourt of Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. Dare I open this? This one's actually weird. Okay. The Atlanta Hawks win. So Dame is by far the best player here. Yeah, what is funny, B-Dot, is I guarantee you, if this were the Warriors backcourt going up against the Hawks, the Warriors would win easily. Like, I promise you. The best signature shoe bracket? Ooh, that's a good one. I think people are too high on DeJounte. Here's the problem is I influence the votes too much. I talk about how much I agree or how much I think Trae Young, how good I think Trae Young is. I wouldn't go that far. I would argue Trae is better than Dame. No. No. Middleton is better than DeJounte. It's been a long time since we've seen Middleton healthy, but I think I agree, though. I think Dame is significantly better than Trae. But hey, it's y'all's bracket, not mine. Trae advances. Trae and DeJounte Murray advance. They have made it all the way to the Final Four. The Cavs backcourt of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell versus the Grizzlies backcourt of John Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. Woo! This one's a toughie. Okay. Wow. The Grizzlies clear pretty easily, apparently. Yeah, the Warriors were denied a finals appearance. They lost in the second round. Dame's coming off of like maybe his best season ever. I know that the Trailblazers sucked, but so I definitely would have picked the Grizzlies here as well, I think. John Morant, yeah, I know. If I didn't include Chris Paul, I guarantee you they're still in this tournament. Obviously, the Cavs have 2 All-Stars. I don't think we have... Well, did Desmond Bane make the All-Star game? No, he didn't. Did he? No, he didn't. He was close, though, wasn't he? Or wasn't he injured or something at the time? Either way. We have 2 solidified All-Stars here in Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Bane could maybe make an All-Star game at some point, but John Morant's obviously an All-Star, All-NBA level talent. Marcus Smart's still only 2 years removed from Defensive Player of the Year, even though, did he deserve it? That's another question. But I like this fit. I do. I like the John Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane fit. It makes a lot of sense. And we have our final 4. The Dallas Mavericks, led by Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. The Phoenix Suns with Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. The Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young, DeJounte. And the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja, Marcus Smart, and Desmond Bane. Get your votes in. Who is going to come out victorious? Who is going to win it all? Well, we all know who it is, but who's going to be going up against the team that's going to win it all? A Brunson Holiday backcourt would be something in LA or solid in New York. Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot which podcast I was listening to. Is it the Low Post who was like, the Knicks really need to do this? Oh, somebody who voted for the Suns. The Mavericks had a perfect run up until this point. Obviously, it's Luka and Kyrie are just better. You know, they're just better. Luka's better than Book. Kyrie's better than Beal. That's all there is to it. Problem is they don't have the salary. I mean, they'd have to do RJ, which I would probably do. The Mavericks were 100 owed every matchup they've had up until this point, and one lost soul voted for the Phoenix Suns. The Mavericks move on to the championship round. All right, let's see where this one goes. Atlanta Hawks versus the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies. So is there a course correction here? Because we were talking about how far the Hawks went. The Grizzlies win and advance to the finals. I think I'd agree with that. I think I would agree with that. It's a very good backcourt. John Morant's really good. Desmond Bane's really good. Marcus Smart's really good. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, they had a great run. A tremendous run even. A shocking run for some. Not me. Trae Young's really good. But their run ends here. This should be Steph. Yeah, it should be. You guys fucked up there. You guys let the new trade hype get to you. You guys got a little fun. You guys had a little too much fun with the trade hype. Here we are, the finals. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving versus Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. The Grizzlies versus the Mavericks. You could definitely make the argument that this matchup right here was the finals. But of course, in some people's beliefs, mine included, which is why they are a 2 seed and had a bye. The second best grouping here didn't even make it past the second round. Some say this whole bracket is busted. What can you say? What the fuck is going on, guys? Stop it. Now I'm interested. Voters who voted for the Grizzlies, speak up. You voted for the Grizzlies, speak up. Just trolling? Okay. That's what I figured. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have been voted by the slightly biased community as the best backcourt in the NBA. We value defense and winning. Stinky Luka and Kyrie, not even playoff bound. Oh, man. You're not wrong. Last year. Let's tweet this out into the Twitter's verse. Steph Curry lost to Chris Middleton. Yeah. I'm blaming this all on you guys. This is all y'all's fault. Either way, Luke and Kyrie were going to win. But an interesting results nonetheless. I cannot believe Damian Lillard and the Bucks won round 2 against the Warriors. But hey, maybe some bad matchup in round 2 for the Warriors. And then the Trae Young and DeJounte Murray immediately beat them, which is hilarious. All right, anyways, I got to get out of here. I was not planning for the stream to be that long. Actually, that's not true. I figured the stream would be a little bit longer. But a Thursday stream, a rare sight. Just so much to talk about. You could argue the top 5 backcourts are in the West. The Suns, yeah, you definitely could. Suns, Mavs, Warriors, Grizzlies. What's the other one? Thunder? I will be live tomorrow as well. I think what we're doing tomorrow is best and worst case scenario realistically for each team in the league. It'll be a PowerPoint stream. Best worst case scenario we'll just kind of go over. My pick for tonight, I need to place it right now. I don't know what I'm feeling for this tonight's game at all. I'm not getting any vibes, which is scaring me. My vibe radar's off. I need it to turn back on immediately. I think the Rangers are getting the first seed. Are we choking? First seed's out of the question entirely. Lions. In Lambeau, Lions are 2-point favorites. First in the division. I think the Rangers win the division. Yeah. 27% pick the Packers. Packers have O-line injuries, right? I'm going Lions. Thank you guys for coming out. It was a fun stream. Again, I'll be live tomorrow. It'll be a PowerPoint stream. We'll be going over best and worst case scenario for every team in the NBA. We did this last year, trying to pinpoint, realistically speaking, right? Realistically speaking, trying to pinpoint the range of outcomes for every team in the NBA. It's a fun one. I like doing that one. That one's fun. Of course, that will lead us into the predictions for the season, which is now less than a month away. We need to do top 100 players list. We need to do, obviously, seeding predictions. We need to do award predictions. It's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It is right around the corner. And then, of course, next week, preseason basketball starts, and I do plan on streaming those games. It'll be like, I think it starts at 11 in the morning, and I plan on being live for them. So that should be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming out. All the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Could have spent your Thursday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Regular content coming now. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. Never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you all tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye. Go Lions.